In a beautiful garden lies a fairy tale palace, mesmerizing architecture, lakes, and fountains. But there's also a well, called the Initiation Well, hidden behind moss-covered stones that is full of mysteries. Looking at it from the top, the Initiation Well actually looks like an inverted tower under the ground. As you descend a spiral staircase, you realize that this well was never made to store water. Then what was the purpose of its construction? Is it really a holy place for Freemasons, as the rumors say? This is Quinta da Regaleira, in the town of Sintra, located some 30 kilometers outside Lisbon, Portugal. Protected as a UNESCO World Heritage Landscape, Quinta da Regaleira reflects details of Gothic, Egyptian, Moorish, and Renaissance architecture and symbolisms. Quinta is a traditional term for an estate, primarily used in Portugal and the Portuguese-speaking world. The Regaleiras were a wealthy Portuguese family who owned the mansion which was built in 16th century. When the Baroness de Regaleira owned the property in the mid to late 1840s, she was using it as her summer retreat. Even though the estate is known for their name, it was Antonio Augusto Carvalho Monteiro who turned the house into a magical place after he bought it in an auction 1893. He hired the Italian architect Luigi Manini, and the construction of the mansion and additional buildings started in 1904. By the year of 1910, the renovation and construction was completed. Monteiro wanted the villa, the chapel, and the garden to be richly decorated, as he was very interested in myths and symbolism of different cultures. The main house, which is often called the Regaleira Palace, has a facade that is characterized to have Gothic features. The palace has 5 levels, a ground floor, 3 upper floors, and a basement. The ground level is composed of a network of corridors linking the living room, dining room, billiards room, balcony, several smaller rooms, and various staircases. The first upper floor reveals a collection of bedrooms and a dressing area. The second upper floor houses Carvalho Monteiro's workspace and the sleeping quarters of female servants. On the third upper floor, there is an ironing room and a smaller room with access to a terrace. The basement accommodates the quarters for male servants, the kitchen, complete with a food-lifting elevator to the ground level, and storage compartments. The estate was sold to Waldemar Doré in 1942. He remodeled the house for his extended family and eliminated some decorative elements. In 1987, the property was sold to the Japanese construction company Aoki, and the place ceased to serve as a residence until the Portuguese Ministry of Culture classified the estate as public interest property in 1998. But the most interesting part of the property are 2 wells that are connected to each other by labyrinths and tunnels under a 27-meter staircase. One of the 2 wells is in a better condition, and the other one seemed to be incomplete without any stairs, as it's also called the unfinished well. The Initiation Well spirals down deep within the earth, and it was assumed to be a part of a mysterious initiation ritual of descendants of the Knights Templar order. The well contains 9 platforms, which are said to symbolize the 9 circles of Dante's Inferno, or the 8 knights and the Grand Master who founded the Templar. On the floor, there's a pale pink compass with an 8-pointed star design that resembles the 9 founders. On the bottom of the well, it connects to tunnels through a series of dark underground walkways, and also these tunnels connect the 2 wells to one another, in addition to various caves and other monuments located in the park. Legend has it that Templar initiations at Quinta da Regaleira started with candidates entering the initiation wells while blindfolded. Holding a sword close to their heart, they'd descend a sequence of 9 flights of stairs. After they reached the well's base, the candidates would venture into a pitch-dark labyrinth where a symbolic and literal journey toward enlightenment awaited them, successfully retracing their steps through the well's tower to emerge into daylight. Initiates would cross stones immersed in water, which was symbolizing Christ walking on water, and end the ritual by entering to the chapel. It's here that their welcome into the brotherhood would ceremoniously happen. The initiation process represented overcoming the darkness and to reach the light, a symbolic reference to rebirth. But how much of it is the truth? The original order of Knights Templar was founded circa 1119 in Jerusalem and existed for about 2 centuries. It was one of the wealthiest and most popular military orders in Western Christianity. After their decline in 1312, the Freemasonry fraternal organizations incorporated the symbols and rituals of Knights Templar since around 18th century, but claims about direct connection between Knight Templars and Freemasons is not proven due to lack of evidence. There are also rumors about Monteiro being a Freemason, which would explain why he made such a symbolic well, but there is no definitive proof about it either. so it can only be assumed that he was very fascinated by the Order of Knights Templar and different features of mythology. It cannot be denied that there are Masonic references both in Quinta da Regaleira, which served him as his home until his death, and also on his tomb. But there's no record proving that Monteiro was a Mason himself. Neither anything about Neo-Templar practices in Portugal in that period. As one of the wealthiest men in Portugal during that time, Monteiro was known to spend years on learning about different topics like bugs, just out of curiosity. In that case, it wouldn't be very unusual of him to be moved and inspired by occult history and symbols. Additionally, it is mentioned that during the ritual, the candidate would enter the chapel after walking on water via stepping stones, but there is a very big distance between these two places. All these reduce the credibility of the story that is believed by so many people, probably just because we love mysterious stories. Maybe entering the chapel was not a part of the process. It was just the place where ceremony would take place after the ritual. Visitors of the initiation well say that they feel like one of the Templar Order candidates as they go down the stairs, but it's most probable that those rituals never even happened in that place. It's safe to assume that Monteiro just loved mystery at least as much as we do. At the end of the day, we can't be sure how much of this story is fact and how much is merely assumptions. If you like hearing interesting stories from different parts of the world, you might want to check out this video as well.